It's 7:30. I'm Priya Rai and we are live from London, counting down to England versus Croatia. These are the live scenes outside Dallas Stadium. Thousands of fans arriving to watch the match live there. We'll have all the build-up for you here.
And I'm Ollie Foster at the BBC Sports Centre here in Salford, where we're going to bring you the very latest from the England camp in Dallas as Thomas Tuchel and his team prepare for their first match of the tournament.
And I'm Alex Howell here in Kansas City, where the England team have been preparing for their opening game of the World Cup against Croatia.
I'm Dan Johnson. I'm at Bristol City's Ashton Gate Stadium, where the bar staff are braced. The lager is already flowing. The anticipation's building. Will England get off to a winning start or not? Either way, they're expecting to sell a lot of pints this evening.
We'll have all the reaction from our very own fan wall, made up of supporters from across the country. And of course, we want to hear from you too. Where will you be watching the match from, and who are you watching it with? Send us your messages. And it is just under an hour and a half to go until kick-off. It all starts right here. Hello, it is brilliant to have you with us, building up to such a big occasion. England getting their World Cup campaign started. But how are you? I think maybe we should do all the nerves and the excitement together over the next 90 minutes. Let's bring you live pictures right now from inside the stadium in Dallas, where the England team have just been walking onto the pitch. You can see they're soaking up the building atmosphere just as much as the fans who have started taking their seats in the stadium around them. We are just under 90 minutes away from kick-off. A smile on the captain's face there, talking to Jordan Pickford. And I mean, I'm sure there's lots that they will be discussing. They've been getting acclimatised in America. And we've also seen a lot of fans who have been arriving outside the stadium in all their colours. Croatian flags draped around many shoulders, as well as many England fans, of course, as well, who have managed to make the journey over there. I'm sure we could watch these pictures all day long, and we're going to be keeping a very close eye on all the live shots that we are getting from Dallas. Somebody, though, who has been in Kansas City for us, the place where England have been essentially keeping camp, is our reporter Alex Howell. Alex, it's great to be able to speak to you. I mean, what has it been like for the last week or so with the team there? What have you been picking up?
So the team are in really good spirits here, but what the main message I've been getting when I've been speaking to players or coaches or people around the England camp is that they're just ready to play a game. They've been in the US for 2 weeks now, had their prep camp in Miami, played 2 friendlies, and then moved here to Kansas City, where they've been training and working on their game plan for this match against Croatia. And Jordan Henderson, I spoke to him in the first day of media here, and he said it's time just to play football now. They feel like they've been speaking for a while, and because England are in Group L, they've had to watch everyone else start their World Cup campaigns, but now it's their turn.
Yes, absolutely. Group L they are in as well. So as you say, they've waited some time to get their tournament going. I mean, what will the journey have been like for them to get? I mean, to state the obvious, America a huge country, but how does all of this play into their prep?
So that's actually why they've picked Kansas City as their base in the middle of the country. So hopefully for them, if England, if they progress, they won't have to fly longer than 3 or 4 hours to wherever they could be playing their games, which is why they selected this base. There's also Argentina, the Netherlands and Algeria based here as well. But in terms of spirits and how they're feeling and travelling, they're good around the camp. So I went to England training yesterday at their base at a place called Swope Soccer Village. And as the players are warming up, they bring a speaker onto the pitch. They're playing their music as they warm up and go through the bits before the real work starts and the media get kicked out of the training ground. But it's been a smooth build-up, really. They've been working on this for a long, long time. Thomas Tuchel and his assistants travelled to the Club World Cup last summer to start their research to build up for the World Cup this summer. So all the planning has been done, and now it's time just to see if their game plan and their tactics are going to work how they hope them to.
And Alex, what about getting acclimatised? I mean, we've seen the photographs of a slightly rosy-cheeked Declan Rice, but what has that been like? I mean, you yourself have been there for the last couple of weeks.
I don't know if you can tell how I'm looking, but it's extremely hot here in Kansas, quite humid today, and it's not something the England team will have to worry about today. The stadium they're playing in Dallas is one of the indoor venues, so it's air conditioned. So you've heard Thomas Tuchel speak about their game plan and how he's not going to adjust England's style because of the heat, because he favours the Premier League and the intensity and physicality of it. But the weather is going to be a factor for all of these teams. We have the hydration breaks that effectively turn the game into quarters, which is another dynamic they have to deal with. But that's why they had that prep camp in Miami, to get the sun, to get used to the extreme heat and temperatures they could face before moving here. So they'll be ready for the game today.
Absolutely. Well, Alex, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again a little bit later, but I think it is about time we cross to Salford, because we have got breaking news coming from the England camp from Ollie Foster. What have you got for us, Ollie?
In the last 60 seconds or so, Thomas Tuchel, England have dropped their starting 11 on their socials. Let's bring it to you now. A couple of the bits of pieces had sort of leaked out over the last 24, 48 hours. Look at the heart of defence. John Stones, their most experienced defender there. And it's Ezri Konsa, the Aston Villa centre-half, who has basically taken Mark Gahey's position there at centre-half. They've gone with Stones, Konsa, Nico O'Reilly, who had a breakout season, the 21-year-old from Manchester City. He has kept that left-back role. Reece James, a tried and tested lieutenant under Thomas Tuchel, going back to his Chelsea days. He has kept that right-back position. Jordan Pickford in goal. You go back to the semi-final. We'll talk about this more over the next hour. The semi-final against Croatia 8 years ago that Croatia won. There was Pickford and Kane who played in that, and John Stones. So there's the spine of that going back 8 years. A midfield of Elliot Anderson and Arsenal's Premier League winner Declan Rice. Noni Madueke, the Arsenal forward, keeping Bukayo Saka out. We heard from Saka in the last 24 hours, who's been nursing this Achilles problem. He has been unable to train on back-to-back days for England, had been playing with pain towards the end of the season with Arsenal, despite a very successful season. But it's Noni Madueke who starts in that forward on the right flank for England against Croatia. Jude Bellingham, who had a great game against Costa Rica last week in their final warm-up down in Florida, plays that 10 role. And so too Anthony Gordon, keeping out Marcus Rashford on the left flank. He had a fantastic game. Anthony Gordon, obviously, who was just signed for Barcelona. He's had a busy couple of weeks. And Harry Kane, their talisman, 114 caps, 79 goals, 8 World Cup goals to his name. So that is Thomas Tuchel's starting 11 for the World Cup. 18 months after he started the job, this is what he's gone with to start their World Cup campaign. Priya.
And Ollie, what sense do you get of Thomas Tuchel's thinking looking at that starting 11?
Yeah, not too many surprises at all, because when he named his 26, that was when most of the debate was, leaving out Phil Foden, Adam Wharton, Cole Palmer, some of the most creative players in the Premier League. He said it's teams that win you tournaments, and he's had a very, very good idea of his starting 11 for a while. He told the BBC that since they've been in camp in the US. I suppose the one worry perhaps for England is a very inexperienced, apart from John Stones and Reece James, an inexperienced back line. He's gone for Konsa coming in with not too many caps to his name. Nico O'Reilly, very inexperienced as well. But and obviously with Tino Livramento dropping out in the last 48 hours and Trevor Chalobah coming in, they are a little bit weak on this left side. But that midfield is packed and very, very dynamic. And there will be that worry about Bukayo Saka, who is such a a dynamic and explosive player for England, cutting in off that right-hand side. And he told us that he was ready to go and he trusted the Arsenal medical team, he trusted the England team, and he said he was good to go. So some question marks over Bukayo Saka with this 11. Still a few question marks over that back line, but it's a very powerful, physical defence that he's put out to face Croatia, and we'll hopefully get that Croatian team in the next sort of 15 minutes and work out how they're gonna play as well. But yeah, I don't think too many surprises, Priya. But finally, after all the talk, the phony war, now we have it there in black and white on paper. Thomas Tuchel has shown his hand as to how he wants to embark upon this World Cup journey.
Yes, Ollie, we'll be back with you in a few minutes' time as well. But as he says, there we have it. In just under 1 hour and 20 minutes from now, it is those 11 players who'll be walking on the pitch to face Croatia, watching it from home and joining us here to build up and set the atmosphere, get the atmosphere going, is our fan wall, who have been very energetic. You can see all the lovely merchandise, many eras of England football shirts. Cameron, let's come to you first. Any kind of key questions, disappointments, excitements about that starting 11?
No, to be fair, I expected Saka to be dropped. As an Arsenal fan, I think that's probably a good thing, because Achilles injuries are not a joke. So, it's good that he can get rested, and by the way, he can show, prove the doubt was wrong. Obviously, Declan Rice, a couple of Premier League champions in there. So I think the spirits are high within the camp, and from my side personally, there's no nerves. I'm quite optimistic that they can do well, and yeah, I have no questions on my end. I think it's pretty solid. Maybe
optimistic.
Mark Gay not starting.
Well, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Ollie was talking about that, wasn't he? Chris and Ralph, you were looking quite excited. How are you feeling?
Yeah, we're ready to go now. I mean, now the team's job. I've been waiting for that news all day, to be fair. I thought Gahey might have started, but he's gone with Konza and Stones at the back, and I want 9 o'clock to come now and just get the ball rolling.
Quite literally. Ralph, are you feeling excited?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is this one of your
He's a boy, a few words.
Well, I'm sure you'll be screaming a few words when the match is on. Who will you be cheering the hardest for?
Pickford.
There we have it. Shyster, let's come to you, because you are looking radiant in red. You're all coordinated, which I love to see. How are you feeling? And any hot takes on the starting 11?
Well, I'm feeling very nervous. My heart's beating very fast. So I'm very happy to see I've got a lovely group of fans here who feel very calm. So you're helping me feel calmer now. We've got a very strong team. Gutted about Saka. Obviously, I didn't expect him to play because he's injured, but I'm hoping that we will get to see him in the next few days when he comes out to play for England, hopefully. But yeah, I'm feeling positive and anxious at the same time.
You sound like any other England fan, and I'm sure there are lots of you watching at home feeling just like Shyster is. All of you stay right there, don't go anywhere, because I want to get talking to lots of you over the next hour or so. But as I say, this is all about you. We know there are lots of you watching at home as well, so you can be getting involved. There is one question that I have for all of you that I want you to keep in mind, and you've all got little whiteboards or pieces of paper that you can write this on. I want to know about your nervousness, because it's a word a few of you have used now, and I'm going to give you a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, 1 is you're not at all nervous. 10 is you are really concerned about what's going to happen at 9 o'clock. And perhaps if you're watching at home, this is something you can be doing with your friends and family as well. So in 3 seconds, I want to see a number on your whiteboards, okay? How nervous are you feeling? 3, 2, 1. Let's see them. Oh! Ellie! Ellie is holding up a number 9, which is the polar opposite of Andrew and Reese, who are backing the boys all the way. Ellie, why a number 9?
I have a lot of faith in England, but this is the game I'm by far the most nervous for. If we get through this and we win this, I think we're fine and I'm feeling brilliant. But the first game is how you know. How are England going to do? Are we going to make it all the way? Are we going to mess it up at the first hurdle? I think today is when we learn what we're going to see from England. So I am really scared.
Well, listen, stay with us. Hopefully Andrew and Reece can spread some good vibes to you. I'm going to come back to all of you shortly. But yes, if you are watching at home, or maybe you're in the garden, maybe you've got some friends and family over, do get in touch with us. Join in with our conversation. Where are you watching? You can scan the QR code to send us a message. Tell us who you're watching with as well. Why don't you give them a shout out, and then I'll give you a shout out if you drop us an email or a WhatsApp. Here's our number for you as well. Now, we also know there are lots of you watching in fan parks, in pubs around the country. Our reporter, Annabelle Rackham, is with some of you in London. Annabelle, it's been building, the crowds behind you. What's it like there?
Hi, Priya. Yeah, it's filling up here. We've just got over an hour to kick off, so people are sort of gradually drifting into this fan park in London. And it's a very special day today for Cameron because it's his 13th birthday. So happy birthday from everyone on the BBC stream. How does it feel to get to kick off with England's first game on your birthday? Feels good. And we haven't got the lineup just yet, but who are you hoping to see start tonight? Madueke. No. No, Madueke's in the team. Yeah?
I think, me personally, I think Jude Bellingham needs to start because he's one of the best players. And Declan Rice.
I'm loving the tactics. What are you thinking?
Bukayo Saka has to start because we need goals early.
Yeah, but he might be injured. He's managing an injury at the moment. But you're hoping that he can manage through it.
I think that he comes with the injury.
Yeah?
I feel like I want Declan Rice to start because he's a playmaker, controls the field, he's good at the ball.
And this, you guys are all 13, right?
Yeah.
So is this like the first like World Cup that you're really, really into?
Yeah, 2022.
2022. So you remember it well?
Yeah, I remember when Speed announced the song, yeah, I was just singing it every day. It was a good song and they made an official song.
And what's it like? You know, is your mum and dad letting you stay up late and watch games or get up early? Like, how does it work?
It's basically, yeah, I only watch the good, interesting games, like Portugal and Dominican Republic. Yeah, and Spain and another team. I watched that one where the keeper, yeah, was really good, and he saved. Like Spain should have won that by miles, but they drew.
And are there any teams that? Oh, go on.
I think Cape Verde.
Yeah, Cape Verde have been good. Well, guys, the team news should be out soon, so you'll know whether Saka or Madueke is starting. That is the main consensus here. But Priya, I'm going to hand back to you.
Annabelle, yeah, Madueke's in. Dan Johnson in Bristol. Do the vibes there rival London?
Yeah, there's atmosphere building here. There have been quite a few people here for an hour or two already enjoying the Portugal-Congo game, but lots more people arriving now. They're just starting to come in. Crowd is building. This is one of the bars at Bristol City's Ashton Gate Stadium. They're budgeting for around 2,500 pints that they'll sell tonight. Obviously expecting to sell a few more if England do well. So still early, still building here in terms of the crowd. Let me introduce you to, I think, the best dressed family here tonight. We've got Neve, we've got Ian, we've got Jack, we've got George. How excited are you guys? Are you confident in England?
Oh, we're so excited, yeah. This is our year.
What do you reckon, Ian?
2-0 tonight and at least semi-finals.
At least semi-finals?
At least,
yeah. You must have seen a few World Cups. How have you enjoyed this one so far?
It's been pretty good, actually. I was quite confident with England until last night when France and Argentina turned up. So, yeah.
What do you reckon, Jack? Have you been watching much of the World Cup so far?
I've been trying to. I've been getting a bit tired towards like the middle games, but yeah.
Because they're on so late.
What's that?
Because they're on late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was up for work early this morning, so I caught the Austria one. But yeah.
What about you, George? Do you think it's been a good World Cup so far?
It's been a great World Cup so far. I mean, it really gets going tonight. This is where we nice comfortable night and go all the way.
What do you think of England's chances?
Going all the way. Easy.
Bringing it home?
Yeah, it's happening.
Confident. Right, that's what we like. Who do you think is going to be important for England? Do you think...
Well, definitely Harry Kane, goal scorer. But I think the role Elliot Anderson will play will be huge. I think in that pivot especially, I think bring ball out of defence and move that to attack, I think will be quite important.
What do you reckon, Ian? We got a strong team?
Yeah, Bellingham plays well, Kane stays fit. I think we could go really deep in the tournament.
You're going to watch it all, Neve?
Oh yeah, of course.
Where are the flags from?
Oh, Poundland.
Splashed out.
Of course, it's coming home.
Talk us through your shirts. What vintage is that one?
I think this is 1990.
Oh,
yeah,
taking it back.
That was a good World Cup, that was.
What we got here?
I think this is 82, but...
82?
I think it is.
You don't look old enough, Jack.
But yeah, bought from online rather than at the time.
And when's yours from?
I wish I could tell you, but it's Ian's shirt.
So you borrowed it?
I have indeed.
You can tell the family that dresses together enjoys England together. Everybody here hopeful that we're going to get a good game and a good result, but I did detect some nerves among some of the people I've spoken to. We were with a bunch of school kids earlier, and there were definitely some nerves there. Kids who were not entirely confident in England's performance, so everybody waiting to see how this game goes.
Dan, it does feel like there's a lot of hedging bets going on, but as I say, maybe that is just life as an England fan. We'll check back in there in Bristol in a little while, but let me take you back over this way now so we can speak to Ollie Foster again in Salford. What have you got for us, Ollie?
Hi there, Priya. Yeah, we're just dissecting the team news, not just England's, with Konza coming in to the heart of defence, Madueke keeping his place on the right flank ahead of Bukayo Saka, but we've got Croatian team news as well, and I think let's get a little bit closer to the action. We can't get any closer to this. Let's go to the Dallas Stadium where Henry Winter, who's been on far too many England campaigns that he would care to talk about, and also Daniela Ugli, the Croatian football broadcaster and journalist. Good afternoon to you both. Good evening from Salford here. Henry, 50 years of hurt, the story of England football and why we never stop believing. That was your book 10 years ago. You need to update the title. Are we still believing? What do you make of Thomas Tuchel's starting 11 there?
Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, part of it is injury related because they're managing Bukayo Saka's injury. So Madueke comes in on the right. I think it's interesting that Gordon is in ahead of Rashford because Rashford had a very good season at Barcelona, 14 goals, 14 assists. But I think what this says with Gordon on the left and Madueke on the right is that they want to unleash as much pace as they've got, certainly out wide, on the Croatians. And there's a feeling in the England camp that they are an aging team. Having said that, Modric looks amazing. He looks like an 18-year-old despite being 40, and England know the threat that he poses. But you just look at that pace, they think they can get at this Croatian defence. They think that sometimes their midfield runners and midfielders won't actually go with England's runners. And that is why Jude Bellingham is so important. I'm so pleased he's starting at 10. He's one of our three world-class players, along with Declan Rice and Harry Kane. And he has to play. And obviously, if you've got Harry Kane up front, you've absolutely got a chance. Elliot Anderson coming in for his World Cup debut in midfield. It's a very strong front six for England.
It really is. Any question mark? I mean, when you look at that spine of Pickford, Stones and Kane, I know Jordan Henderson's on the bench, all three of those featured 8 years ago in Russia. You and I were both there in that semi-final in Moscow. But any concerns at all that Nico O'Reilly, a breakthrough season for him at Manchester City, do you think that's just the right blend of fantastic experience, but also a lot of youthful energy in there as well?
Yeah, you're right. O'Reilly steps into midfield from left back, inverting in the Pep Guardiola way. And I think that's really important for England. I think it shows that England are going to be on the front foot. I mean, England have had such a sort of constant turnover of left backs. I mean, if you go back to Luke Shaw starting the Euros final, I mean, England have had, I think, 12, 13 left backs, occasionally right backs playing on the left. It's been a problem position. So O'Reilly coming in there, even though he's probably best in central midfield, he can give that sort of energy down the left. Gordon is pretty disciplined. He can sort of track back and help him out. But you're right. I mean, there is a concern in defence. Look, Stones is a fantastic player, plus he steps into midfield as well. He's a leader. We've seen it so many times with Manchester City, also with England as well. The problem for England will be if they get any injuries in defence, and particularly to Reece James, because they don't have a recognised understudy right back if anything happens to James. And his minutes do have to be managed, because we've seen that he's had injury problems recently.
Henry, just briefly before we say goodbye to viewers here on BBC News, this looks like the most difficult match in England's group, with Ghana and Panama to come. Important for England to put out a statement victory here over the next few hours in Dallas.
Yeah, psychologically and for the points as well. And we've seen other teams making statements. Argentina, obviously Germany as well. There's so much talent around. France in the second half. So England, who are not the favourites, they're about fourth or fifth. They have to make a statement. But everyone says Croatia is a difficult game. Absolutely, it is. It is the toughest. But the most important thing is that it's indoors,
Henry.
22 degrees.
All right, Henry, stay with us because we're just going to say goodbye to viewers on BBC News. These are the pictures of Croatian and England fans congregating. If you want to stay with us, you've got the QR code. We'll carry on YouTube and also the BBC News website. Stay with us here as we count down to England-Croatia at the World Cup. OK, thanks for pausing with us, Henry there. Henry Winter, who's at the Dallas Stadium. We are an hour and 4 minutes away from England starting their World Cup campaign. So too Croatia, who have had a fantastic last couple of World Cups. The final in 2018. They got to the semi-finals last time out in Qatar. Daniela Rugli, I was talking to Henry about his book, 50 Years of Hurt, now 60 Years of Hurt. For Croatia, such a young nation, they made their debut in '96, Euro '96. So it's how would you describe Croatia? 30 years of punching above their weight.
Oh, absolutely. And to think in those 30 years, we have 3 World Cup medals. Let's not forget 1998 as well. And I think that for a country of under 4 million people, this is really miraculous. It's unbelievable. But I think it really comes down to this incredible fighting spirit that these players have, given what they have experienced, especially when you look at Modric and his war story and the veterans on this team. So Croatia is constantly punching above their weight. Will they do it again this tournament? Let's see.
Now, you mentioned veterans. Luka Modric, I have got such a soft spot for him from my Tottenham leaning, but he is incredible at the age of 40. And I mentioned Croatia being a young nation. Luka Modric is knocking on 200 caps, and he is featured in over half Croatia's international matches since their formation. He is just an incredible, incredible player.
I mean, he's like the gift that keeps on giving, and even just watching him at the press conference last night, the pregame press conference, he was saying, I mean, in general, I think he'll keep playing until he no longer loves it, right? He still loves it so much. And now that Croatia has such a young team, right? I mean, there's this narrative around Croatia being an older squad, of course, because Modric is closer to being 41 than 40 at this point. But Modric was also saying these young players are keeping him young and giving him kind of a second wind as well. So who's to say, I don't think it's realistic that he'll keep on for another World Cup, but he might continue on for a little bit longer. And we would all hope so, because Luka is Croatia at this point.
At the other end of the spectrum, somebody who has really lit up the Bundesliga, a Spurs player as well, but he could be off to other pastures. Luka Vuskovic, the teenager, who starts in the heart of that Croatian defence against England in Dallas, it looks like. Has he forced your manager to actually rethink his formation? And he once said he's never going to play 3 at the back, but it looks like he's going to go with 3 at the back. Would you go along with that?
I would go along with that. I think once we saw just what an incredible talent Vuskovic is, and I have to shout out, he's actually from Split, from my hometown. He comes from Hajduk Split as well. And you could just see this kid's talent already, I mean, before 16. And I think him in tandem with Guardiola, obviously we all know what an incredible defender Guardiola is. I think, Croatia's backline is one of the best. It could be one of the best at the tournament, right? We'll have to see today, because playing three in the back is something different, is something that we're not entirely used to. But I think that Dalic is kind of forming this, this back line around Juskovic and his talent. And let's see, I really hope that he can perform and show us what he's all about.
Just quickly, Daniela, before we let you go, what would you take from this? A draw? Would you be happy with a draw going into those easier, in theory, matches against Ghana and Panama?
Personally, yes, I would be happy with a draw. I think it's an opening match of a tournament already comes with there's so many factors that come into play. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Obviously, the conditions here are pretty brutal. The players are still kind of adapting. So I would be happy with a draw. Also, given that, let's say, if Croatia does get second in the group, that route takes us back to Toronto, back to Dallas, which are two stadiums we'd have already played in during the group stage. So I would be okay with it. I would be okay with that.
Daniela, all the very best. Thank you so much for joining us from a very sunny Dallas. Just a final word from you, Henry. I mean, you've been through the Eriksson, Fabio Capello, Hodgson, that sort of reset under Gareth Southgate, where he sort of reconnected that England team with the nation. We've had 18 months of Thomas Tuchel. What are you feeling going into another major tournament with Tuchel? This is very much Tuchel's England now.
It's all psychological. England have got some good players, but as Daniela says, you look at a player like Modric, he is not simply ability, his mentality, and England need to echo that. You've got players like Kane who've got that fantastic combination. Elliot Anderson clearly has as well, Rice and Jude Bellingham, but you need it throughout the team. Fear is always the key with England, the nerves, the expectation, the years of hurt, all the 66 stuff. Route 66, as they say out here. I mean, they're making a huge thing of Route 66 here, but that weighs them down, Ollie, as you know well. So, yeah, I mean, if England can banish all the fear from their mind and just remind themselves that they do have the talent, they've got an exceptional coach in Thomas Tuchel who can tweak things late on in games. He's very decisive. We saw that in the Champions League final when he was in charge of Chelsea. So, yeah, absolutely, England have got a chance. They're not favourites, but they've got a chance.
Henry Winter, many thanks indeed. Enjoy the match. Go safely on your travels around the US. These are live pictures from the Dallas Stadium. We are just under an hour away from kickoff in Group L between England and Croatia. And we can get to pitch level now with Kelly Summers, who is the England team reporter. Kelly, hi there. The sprinklers on. The players are looking incredibly relaxed. Behind you. You've spoken to Thomas Tuchel, Harry Kane, all the players in the England camp from Kansas City now into Dallas. What are you feeling now? Is this a different feel about this England team? It's business time this now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's felt, to be honest, Ollie, like it's been a long time coming. The England players have said they've been watching the games in the team hotel. I think they're just itching to get going. A reminder, they didn't just come out here for the beginning of the tournament. They came out at the start of June, so they've been here for over 2 weeks. They've acclimatised all of the temperature, though. That said, here in Dallas, it actually is air-conned and the roof is closed, so it's not quite as bad today. But the players have been itching to get going. You've been around this England camp before, Ollie, under Gareth Southgate, and this time, I don't know, it just exudes a little bit more confidence. I spoke to Thomas Tuchel on Monday, and he talks about having kind of a boyish excitement. He loved looking around on the plane when he got to the US and having the players on the pitch to coach, and he's loved the last 2 weeks with them. It feels like they've all really enjoyed it and they're all more than ready, and for once they've actually been saying, yes, we can win it, not ducking the question. They know they can win it, they've just got to do it on the pitch now.
And this sort of confidence, does it come from Thomas Tuchel? Because he's very much put his stamp on this from the moment he chose his 26, and we've already been through the players who didn't make the cut when you think of Foden, Palmer and Wharton. And with this selection here, we expect Mark Gay to start alongside John Stones in the heart of that defence, but he's gone, no, I'm going to pick Ezri Konsa, who's had a very, very good season with Aston Villa. He still doesn't feel that Bukayo Saka is quite right, even though any other match he probably would be his starter. So he's stuck with Noni Madueke on that right flank. It is still very much Tuchel saying, no, I'm making the decisions here, and you've all got to toe the line.
you can also say that with the other wing as well. Many would have said that Marcus Rashford would have started. Anthony Gordon was brilliant against Costa Rica. I think, firstly, all of those decisions show the strength in depth that Thomas Tuchel has. But I also think you can look at the treatment and the way that Jude Bellingham has been handled by Thomas Tuchel. Admittedly, he hasn't always been available. He's had his injuries this season for Real Madrid, but Thomas Tuchel has left him out of squads, which I think under the previous regime was pretty much unthinkable. Thomas Tuchel has said, we are better with Jude Bellingham, but we can function without him. Of course, Jude Bellingham starts tonight. He had to start. He was brilliant in the 2 friendlies, and he is Jude Bellingham. And if England are to go on and win this tournament as they want to, they need Jude Bellingham at his very best. But Thomas Tuchel, I think, has played that very cleverly. He's played Jude Bellingham back into brilliant form, which of course coincided with his strong end to the season at club level. But he's now got, I believe, a really fit, firing, determined Jude Bellingham, who, I mean, we wouldn't be the first time we've seen him make a big difference on the big stage for England, but he looks brilliant. And I do agree with you. The way Tuchel has handled everything so far, it's his way or the highway, but all of the players appear to be buying into it.
It's very much worth reminding viewers about the Jude Bellingham-Thomas Tuchel relationship, which seemed to be quite fractured earlier this year. That's when Bellingham had a bit of a shoulder problem at Real Madrid, and he wanted to come back into camp, and it was all around this Tuchel saying that his mother felt that Jude Bellingham's behaviour and the way he sort of portrayed himself on the pitch was repulsive, and we thought, hang on, this is a bit of a misstep from Thomas Tuchel, but clearly that might have been what Jude Bellingham needed, because he is very much first and foremost in Thomas Tuchel's plans for this World Cup.
Yeah, I think there was also a bit of, and Thomas Tuchel came out after and said, don't forget, this is my second language. And I think very quickly he realised maybe that wasn't his best choice of words. But Jude Bellingham has been in and around the camp, and we saw that he did some interviews for the FA's in-house channel and actually put him up with Morgan Rogers, who we're all saying he's in competition with to play in that number 10 role. Him and Morgan Rogers have known each other a very long time, and they appear to be very good friends. But everyone, Jordan Henderson this week as well, was really vocal in his defence of Bellingham, saying sometimes what he hears people say about him in the media really upsets him, and that isn't the real Jude Bellingham. I actually asked Thomas Tuchel on Monday, like, has your perception of him changed? Because you've had him for the longest period over these last couple of weeks. Have you seen a different Jude? He wasn't drawn on whether it was a different Jude, but he said he's got the X factor. That was the phrase that Henderson used as well. He's been a brilliant teammate, and they know they need him. Jude Bellingham is made for these big occasions, and I can only praise Thomas Tuchel for the way he's handled him, because it does feel like we're getting a very, very good version of Jude Bellingham arriving here, which is what we all need.
Before I let you go, and before those sprinklers hit you behind you, Kelly, a lot has been talked about the weather, but you're in an air-conditioned stadium. The roof is on, so there'll be these nonsense hydration breaks, won't there, in the match? A lot has been talked about that. But how are you feeling the conditions right now with the roof on and in this sort of air-conditioned stadium?
The one thing I'd like to say to whoever is activating those sprinklers is I absolutely don't need to be sprinkled to cool down, because it is not too hot in here. But actually the conditions are fine. I came here yesterday when, of course, there was no one in here except for a few people like myself doing a few links. And actually, as soon as you walk in, Dallas is incredibly hot, by the way. As soon as you walk in, you feel how much cooler it is. Now there are people in here, it is a little bit warmer, but we're told they're keeping the stadium around 20, 21 degrees, which England have been training in Florida, they've been training in Kansas as well. They've been used to this heat, used to the storms. So this should actually be even better for them. It should be favourable. I spoke to Paul Robinson on BBC One earlier, and he was saying there's actually no excuses for England. These are the perfect conditions. This is the toughest game of the group, and this is the game they'd want these conditions for. They've got them. Honestly, the roof is on. As you can see behind me there, by the way, the goalkeepers coming out. James Trafford, Dean Henderson and Jordan Pickford up ahead of them. There's loads of England flags. That's where the majority of England fans are over there, and they're saying hello to their goalkeepers. The rest of the players will be coming out very shortly. But Ollie, there's no excuses now. It's all set. England's preparations appear to have gone absolutely brilliantly. Thomas Tuchel has told us that. All they've now got to do is go out and not only win, but I think we've seen with England before, they have to put in a performance that's going to make everyone happy too, and show, like France did, that they can put that performance in and say, hello, we're contenders for this World Cup.
Yeah, their fans want to see a bit of a swagger, don't they? Kelly Summers one of our colleagues from BBC Sport. Thank you so much for joining us from pitchside, just as we see some rather arty, super slow-mo pictures of the England team. There is Jude Bellingham, who'll be in that number 10 role. Elliot Anderson at the heart of midfield as well. We'll see lots more of these pictures over the next half an hour or so from Dallas, but let's head back to London because Priya is there.
Yes, I am. Ollie, thank you very much for now. 50 minutes and 40 seconds until England kick off, get their World Cup campaign going against Croatia. We have got watching alongside you and watching alongside us as we build up to that match our fan wall, who have been full of energy, like I'm sure many of you watching at home are as well, getting a mix of excitement and nervousness. Chloe, can I come to you, please? Because we were hearing from Kelly there that Thomas Tuchel's feeling confident. Your prediction is that this ends at the semi-finals. Are you changing that? Are you sticking with that, hearing how it's going in camp?
I think for me, I'd probably stick with the semi-finals, kind of as what I'd be happy with. Would I like us to get further? Absolutely. I would love us to get further. However, I think for me, again, I would be happy at a minimum if we can get to the semi-finals. But again, really intrigued to see how we come out tonight, for sure. So, yeah. For sure.
On paper, it is their toughest game in the group stages. So you could say get it out the way, but let's hope it can get the tournament going in the right direction. Andrew and Reese, in your beautifully decorated living room, I hope you can all see the flags that are draped on the frames behind them. You gave me a number 1 on my scale of nervousness earlier, meaning you're not at all nervous. Why is that? Why are you feeling so confident?
I think we've being British, isn't it? Is to be a bit reserved, and I think we just need to put it out there, don't we? Reese has got a really big score prediction. He's really confident that we're going to really take it home fully, aren't we? And we're going to go all the way this year.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction, Reese?
I want England to win.
What's the score?
7-0.
There we go.
And we need Declan Rice and Rashford and Harry Kane and Pickford.
That's it.
And Pickford, he quite got a lot of saves on football. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people happy when they see that man in goal, and there'll be a lot of people hoping that your prediction comes true. Can I get a quick word from you as well, Andrew, in terms of, because the team that you coach, when you have a big tournament on like this, when the expectations as ever for England are so high, how does that trickle down? What does it do?
I think it starts with us. We've got to be really confident in our team, like I think the England players are as well. We've just got to take it as it comes, take every game as it comes, and believe in yourselves. That's what we do, and we've been successful this year, haven't we? I think we may have won the league this year, so with our confidence, and that's helped us get us past the line. And I think that's what England need to do: be really confident in themselves and take it all the way.
Yeah.
There we go. You're setting the trend. Hopefully England follow in your footsteps. I want to come to Billy and Amelia next, because you're in a town I know well, actually, a nice little fish and chip shop in Bewdley. But you guys, it's also looking very lively. You're telling people to shush, I think, Billy, which you can't do that on an England match day. What are your plans there this evening for your watching? What are you doing?
We've just got some friends over. We're watching it at home. There's quite a few of us now, but it's calmed down slightly. It was little bit excitable earlier, but we're all just looking forward to the game now.
Well, you look like you're in the right place, and it looks like the drinks won't be in shortage. So all of you stay there. I've got some more questions, and I might try and do some trivia with you when I talk to you again in a few minutes. So get your thinking hats on and dig deep in your England knowledge. Talking of England trivia, there is one World Cup that a lot of people, a lot of you will remember fondly of that year, but all the years of hurt since, not so fondly, 1966, because in just a moment, or now I believe, Jack Spence is somebody we can speak to now, because he was in attendance all those years ago in 1966. You are somebody, I think the only person joining our programme today who has seen England win the World Cup. How are you feeling as they start another tournament?
Quite optimistic, I think. I think we'll do well.
And what makes you so optimistic?
We've got the strength of really good players, a good team. I think the team selected for this evening is the one I would have chosen. I think we've got a new dynamic manager, and I think they have all the qualities to get to the final.
Well, yes, I want to ask you about qualities, because what is it you saw in that England team in '66, and do they have it now?
Sorry, do they have the qualities now?
Yes.
Are the England players?
Yes. Do you see, what do you see in this team compared to what you saw in 1966?
Oh, I see. Well, I think that the England team in 1966 was probably the best team England ever had. They proved that by winning the World Cup. I think the present team have got to prove themselves, but there's no reason that I see why they shouldn't do really well.
And I believe you have some memorabilia with you. I don't know if that's a scarf draped around your neck. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
This is not the original scarf, but I wore a similar one in 1966. What I do have are the tickets, 10 tickets, which I've saved all this time. They were sold in a wallet, so I managed to keep them clean. And there we are. You can probably see the final ticket. There are 10 in there. You could probably see the final ticket through the cellophane.
And there might be some fans who were hoping to have made the way out to America, thinking they were a little bit priced out. Might you tell us how much you paid in 1966?
Sorry, you could say that again, please?
Do you mind telling us how much you paid for your ticket in 1966?
Yes, I beg your pardon. Yes, well, I paid, we bought 10 tickets, and they cost the mammoth sum of £4, or slightly less than £4. There were 10 tickets, and that included the final ticket, which was equivalent to 50p today, and the all other tickets were about 37p in pre-decimal currency.
Well, Jack, I'm sure there are many England fans this year who would bite your arm off to have a ticket or 10 for £4. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Hope you enjoy this tournament just as much as you did in 1966. Well, listening along to Jack with us, we have Simon Calder, who's travel writer and expert. And on that pricing of stuff, I mean, we can't ignore the fact that we've got loads of fans watching along with us here who can't be in America. Costs have been high.
Well, yes, they have been, but I tell you what, they are looking very, very low right now. This happens with all the big football World Cups. It happens with the Olympics. I went out to the Paris Olympics and I paid much less than I would have done in a normal July weekend. And look, if you want, for example, tomorrow to go to Seattle, flying on Delta, top quality airline from London Heathrow to Seattle, it will cost you £500. This time of year, it really should be a few £100 more than that. You get in, you can go and stay in the fantastic Green Tortoise Hostel. I've stayed there, it's great. And that will cost you for a week another £500. And then, well, you could go and see games like Belgium against Egypt. Sorry, forgive me, that one's already gone, hasn't it? Australia against the USA, or Bosnia against Qatar. And the great thing is that while tickets are rather more than they were in the World Cup in 1966, the prices are coming down, particularly on the resale site. And, well, frankly, I mean, as we heard in the BBC commentary of the first USA match, the stadium is not likely to be full. So it's one of these things which I am so keen to encourage people to do. Just get on a plane. First of all, get your ESTA permit sorted out, but then just go off and enjoy yourself. You are going to enjoy America on the cheap.
And we should say, this is all based on your work, your research. You've looked into this. You're not, told by any hotel that you can come and stay here for super cheap right now. But why have the prices come down?
Well, because every World Cup, every Olympics follows exactly the same pattern. The host city or countries, host countries or the cities will find out that they've got this massive sporting event. They will think it is the best get-rich-quick scheme in history. They'll put their prices up. They'll wait for people to come, and they won't be able to sell all their hotels or indeed their airline seats. Happens all the time. And so therefore, what do? Because hotel beds, because airline seats are as perishable as anything, once the flight's gone, if it's got empty seats on board, that's money that's lost forever. They will just cut the prices, and that's what's happening this time. And I think it's going to get particularly good once we get beyond this endless bout of group games and we're into the round of 32. Then you'll of course get quite a lot of teams going home, hotels becoming emptier. It's going to be a really good time to get across there as well.
Now, someone tells me, Simon, that you yourself have been to a World Cup. Which one?
I've been. Oh, look. Well, I started in 1966, and I can absolutely vouch for the fact that my dad, I was really quite young at the time, but he queued up and got tickets for 7 and 6pence, 37.5 pence, to see the second group match against France, which we won 2-0, and that was in the old Wembley Stadium standing up. It was marvellous. I've since been to, for instance, the Albania-England qualifier in 1989. There was somebody on the pitch called Gary Lineker. No idea what happened to him. And then 2018, I was in Russia. What a fantastic World Cup that was. Such a great feeling. So sad what's happened since then. But I very much enjoyed going in and seeing Croatia beat Nigeria. Although, of course, I was supporting Nigeria. And going to a big city when there's a really important sporting event on is fantastic. And if you don't blink, then just book late and you will be able to get the bargain of the century.
Well, I don't think it'd be quite right if a travel writer hadn't travelled the world to see all of those World Cups. A pleasure as ever to be able to speak to you, Simon. Thank you very much. Lots of you, though, are watching the match much closer to home. If you're not on your sofa or in your own garden, then you might well be in a pub or in a fan zone. Dan Johnson's with lots of you in Bristol. How's it going there, Dan?
Yeah, it's definitely filling up here. There's a lot of people in, a lot of the England soundtrack, a lot of the theme tunes from previous games. We've got people with flags on their heads, people with flags in their arms. What's our Bristol City Cider Army? What's that all about, Ben?
We love the Bristol City. Red or red!
What do you think about England's chances at this World Cup?
It's coming home. That's one thing. It's coming home.
You're confident?
I'm confident.
Why so confident?
Well, we've had enough hurt, so we're going to win it this year.
Who do you think is going to be the key?
Harry Kane. He's going to score every single goal.
What do you think about tonight's match? You looking forward to Croatia?
2-0 win England.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we're liking the confidence. You think they're going to do it?
Yeah, they're going to do it. It's coming home!
Thank you. Lots of flags, lots of people out, dressed in all the different England shirts as well. All right. Let's have a word with Oscar and Louis. What do you guys reckon? What's England's chances tonight?
I reckon we're going to be all right against Croatia. I think we're going to win maybe 3-0. Yeah.
And then what after that?
I don't know. I reckon we'll do a good job getting to the final maybe. There's a few other good teams. Italy look all right. Spain look all right. France look all right as well. So I'm not really too sure, but I reckon we got a good chance to get into the final.
How are you enjoying this World Cup so far?
Yeah, the World Cup's really good. I mean,
a lot of people were down on it, weren't they, to start with?
Yeah, but the atmosphere is really good, around Bristol where we are. And around the USA, it looks quality as well. So, yeah, it's a really good atmosphere.
What do you reckon, Louis? You sharing the confidence?
Oh, I don't know. This is a dodgy game. I reckon we'll beat them. This is the one I've been worried about. But 3-1, I reckon, to England, I reckon we'll be all right.
And then what comes after?
I don't know. I reckon we'll go the way. I was a bit worried about France and Spain, but seeing them not doing too well in their earlier games, I reckon we'll win the lot.
Have you seen the team?
Yeah, the team looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah, you happy with that?
Yeah, no, team's good. As long as you're Kane up top, I don't mind.
Especially Elliot Anderson. Bravers at the gas.
You lads are going to enjoy it, whatever happens.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Go on, England!
Go on, England! Nice one, thank you very much. A lot of confidence here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. A room full of confidence. Dan, we might check back with you soon. And you might think, why is Harry Kane stood next to me when there is just over half an hour to go until you've got to take on Croatia in the World Cup? Well, it's not Harry Kane, but you might recognise him from playing England's captain in Dear England, Will Antonbring. It is a pleasure to welcome you here with us. Now, I watched Dear England. I am struck at how impressive your take on Harry Kane is. Take us through getting into the role, getting into character.
I mean, he's a proper everyman. A lot of, for me, was the voice. It's a very iconic voice. It's an often imitated voice. So a lot for me was just listening to interviews with him. Anything above 20 minutes I had in my ear. I mean, it was a pleasure.
What did you learn about him? Because obviously it involves lots of research, as you say. Did you see him or kind of figure him out from a different perspective?
I mean, it's quite hard with something like this. Is a bit unprecedented because you don't get things where people are still playing at the highest level. So there isn't a lot about him personally that's out there. I read a couple biographies, but it's quite hard to find things to work with. But yeah, I did the best that I could. I tried to find out as much as I could.
So when it comes to the voice then, because as you say, it's very identifiably him, and you did it so well in the show. What does that take? How do you do that?
I mean, it's a warm up every day. It's just mostly for me, it's working on specific consonant sounds and vowel sounds. It's just such a specific idiosyncratic voice. And such a leader voice, which is something I don't think comes to me naturally. So it took a lot of work, but I think we managed it in the end, yeah.
And did you get a sense, because I felt like I was watching England when I was watching it, and you kind of feel the head in your hand moments as an England fan, even though it is fictionalised. I mean, do you get a sense now of the pressure they feel?
Oh, of course. I think we had a Hungary game that we were recreating, and there was a tiny amount of crowd in there that were hurling abuse at us, and you know, it's a small amount compared to what's in a stadium, but you really get like a tiny amount of it. But yeah, I mean, the amount of pressure that they have going onto a pitch every single game, and the pressure in social media, I don't know how they do it, but yeah, it's heavy shoulders.
And we must tell our viewers that you are an Arsenal fan, and you were taking on Tottenham's talisman.
I know.
From back in the day. So, I mean, as a football fan, what does it mean for you to have played this role, and especially ahead of now seeing England go and take on this tournament?
I mean, I was a kid who loved football and a kid who wanted to be an actor. So to be on set, kicking a football around with my mates and playing Harry Kane, who's possibly the greatest England football player ever. I mean, it doesn't really get much better.
And so what are your predictions, hopes, expectations?
I mean, obviously we're going all the way. We're going all the way, it's coming home. I don't know, I mean, France look incredible, Germany looked good, but I have a real positive feeling about this one.
Why?
I don't know, I think after those years with Gareth and the kind of ethos that he brought in, I think Tuchel could be the person to take it that next step.
And it's interesting you say that kind of transition from Southgate to Tuchel, because a lot of the show, a lot of Dear England is about the identity of the team. From what you took on and demonstrated under Gareth Southgate in the show, because a lot of that was about how he kind of changed the team. What do you think now comes from Thomas Tuchel in terms of identity?
I think a lot of the team aspects. I mean, a lot of the show is about Southgate bringing in a psychologist who is Pippa Grange to change the kind of ethos of the team and allow men to talk to each other and be vulnerable, and how that can lead to success. And I think Tuchel said that he's trying to bring along that kind of familial aspect to this new team. And I think if he does, we'll go all the way. I can see it happen.
You really think England are going to win the World Cup? Look
I don't
down
want
the
to say it
lens
now.
and tell everyone.
I don't want to say it now, but it's promising.
It's
very
promising. And just finally, for tonight's game, a prediction, because of course it is a replay of the 2018 semi-final.
Yes.
It is a formidable side when it comes to the World Cup.
You know, I think since then we've had pretty good luck against Croatia. I'm predicting a 2-0 for today.
Okay.
I think we'll press past the deadlock of a 1-0 and we'll get to 2, and we'll sail all the way. But here's the hoping.
Well, Will, it's a total pleasure.
Thank you.
And Harry Kane, as close as we're probably going to get. So thank
Grand.
you very much. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to be able to speak to you. You can see here the pictures live from Dallas Stadium. The team warming up on the pitch. The stands around them have been filling up as well. They've been looking quite relaxed, the squad on the pitch, and they've been having a little kind of laugh and a joke with each other as well. But things do look to be getting a little bit more serious now, getting the warm-up well and truly underway. Now, you can watch Dear England on iPlayer. That will really get you in the mood for the game. But we are 30 minutes away from kickoff against Croatia. And you can stick with us, scan that QR code for continued build-up here with the BBC. Okay, 30 minutes and 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6. We're here with you for every second of the build-up. England versus Croatia in their opening World Cup game. It is probably the toughest game for England, on paper at least, in their Group L. And I want to now talk to somebody who knows the captain, Harry Kane, better than all of us anyway. Don't give me that look, Dave. I've got some questions for you. Dave Britnell, you were one of Harry Kane's first coaches, and you know him as a young boy. Tell us what he was like then, and if this is something you always saw for him.
Yeah, Harry was a good kid. Wasn't the loudest, wasn't the quietest. Just wanted to get on and play football. He was he was confident in himself. Just took his goals well. Just wanted to play football. He's a good kid. Turned into a very good adult as well.
Was he always up front?
No. Well, he was, but on the first day he came for a trial with us. He volunteered to go in goal, and he was very good in goal. And I thought, yes, great, I've got a goalkeeper. But then a friend of his family, the range, come up to me and said, Dave, he doesn't play in goal. He plays on pitch. So he went on pitch, and the rest, as they say, is history.
In terms of his qualities as a captain, because so much, of course, has been said from his fellow teammates now, but growing up, I mean, is that something that you think he's grown into, or did you always see that in him?
Well, he was always confident and didn't mind, shouting for the ball, wanted to do things right. He not only played for me at Ridgeway, he was at the district. He done very well at the district. Very confident in himself. I think you need to be that if you're going to be a good leader as well.
And off the back of the hugely successful season that he has had for his club, what kind of tournament do you think he now has ahead of him?
Well, I've done an interview the other day where I hoped he went on and broke Gary Lineker's record for England in World Cups. I think he's got a great chance. He's playing out of his skin at the moment, playing probably the best football of his life. He's so confident, comes across very level-headed. I think if he gets a chance, he'll take it. And hopefully he leads us to win the World Cup.
And, with the experience that you have, what does it do for a club like Ridgeway Rovers, for example, when you were there, but when you have footballers who go on to be stars, what does it do for their place where they began?
Well, I think the reason Harry joined us was because we had David Beckham before him. And David Beckham went on to be quite a big star in the world as well, didn't he? So we've been very lucky in Chingford. We have some very good footballers, excellent facilities. We've got good teams, people volunteering, and hopefully we'll find the next Harry Kane quite shortly as well. So you never know, boys turn up. Hopefully they want to go on and do well. Harry did. He wasn't the only one in my team that went on and had a professional career. I had two others in Nico Irish and Jordan, and Jordan Archer. But there's good quality out there. We just got to nurture it.
And what does it do for grassroots football generally when, you know, England haven't taken home any silverware since, they haven't won the World Cup since '66, but it's still brought a new kind of excitement for the squad, their relative success in recent years. What does that do for football clubs around the country?
Well, if the national team does well, then it brings everyone out. I mean, I live opposite a pub at the moment, and it's absolutely hundreds of people in the pub waiting to watch the game. It fills the country with pride. And if we do well, you know, it will be an explosion of kids again all wanting to play. So it brings more kids into football, and that's only a good thing.
Well, David, it's great to be able to talk to you. Are you going to be going over the road to that pub?
No, I want to watch it sober. I want to see Harry score. Hopefully, I just want to see us win. I think it's going to be a very close game. Croatia are very good. Luka Modric, what a player he is. I hopefully think we'll win by a couple of goals. And then progress as far as we can in the World Cup. Hopefully, this is the season.
Hopefully, that is a word that has been used a lot. Now, Dave Bricknell, thank you very much. Harry Kane's coach at Ridgeway Rovers. Right, I want to take you now back to Ollie Foster at our sports centre in Salford. Ollie, I mean, we're getting very close. What is it? It's just under half an hour now.
Yep, 24, 25 minutes prior. Yes, the teams have been out for the last hour or so, and you know that Thomas Tuchel have been pouring over that Croatian team. They look like they'll be playing three at the back. Mateo Kovacic, that's a bit of a surprise omission for Croatia. Expected him to be in the heart of that Croatian midfield alongside Luka Modric, who we've been talking about at the age of 40. Petar Musa, a dynamic striker up front. He plays for FC Dallas, just down the road from the Arlington Dallas Stadium there. So he knows all about the conditions. I think we'll be good to take us into that England dressing room now. And let's speak to Paul Nevin, who was at Qatar with Gareth Southgate in the last World Cup, at the last Euros when England went all the way to the final, desperately close to that first silverware since '66, just as they were in the previous Euros when they got beaten by Italy in the final. Evening to you, Paul. I wonder if, so close to kick-off, just tell us what the atmosphere will be like in that England dressing room on the eve of their World Cup campaign. Who will have the loudest voices? Who will just be sort of keeping their counsel? You know all these players so well.
Good evening, Ollie. Yes, it's a moment that has been a long time coming for the group in there, and this is they've gone through all the prelude of preparation, navigating obviously the end of their seasons at the domestic clubs, avoiding injury, and the ultimate getting that final nod from Thomas that they are in that starting lineup. So it's a little bit of time to focus. I think a lot of energy can be expended in just all those considerations in the build-up, and I think it's a time for calm. There'll be a few voices, personalities will come out. All individuals have a different way to prepare in that changing room, so it'll be slightly different, but everybody be really, really focused and just getting ready for that final kickoff.
I mean, you had so many years alongside Gareth Southgate. We were talking about his management and his tenure, which was hugely successful when you consider what went before, because there was that World Cup semi-final 8 years ago, 2 Euros finals. They fell short, albeit against a very good French team 4 years ago in Qatar at the last World Cup. What have you made of the transition to this Thomas Tuchel England? Because obviously so many foundations and so many of those players came through under Gareth Southgate, but since Thomas Tuchel's been in charge, well, he started the job 18 months ago. What have you made of his tenure, Paul?
As I supposed, really, as you said, there was a great foundation put in place. There's a great pipeline of young players to come into line with the older seniors there. And obviously he'll have his own view on those individuals themselves. But as far as coming into a good situation and bringing his experience and his perspective on that, and I think looking at the players' responses and what I've heard, they're really at ease with working with him. And I think that you'll see a really cohesive team and squad throughout the tournament.
Well, there were tough decisions, weren't there, to whittle it down to the 26. Some bad news in the last day or so with Tino Livramento having to to drop out and Trevor Chalobah coming in. But now he's named his 11. Does it surprise you bringing Ezri Konsa into the heart of defence there? And obviously still not quite happy, and Saka probably not happy with his own fitness himself as to why Noni Madueke will start on that right flank as well.
I think the skill is having such a stream of talent in your squad. I think it was that play in that situation, keeping his options open as late as he could. Obviously, he'll be looking at players' performances right up to the last moment. He'll be putting into the mix the opposition, what their strengths and weaknesses are. And ultimately, he can interchange players. He's got that luxury. And the ones that are not starting, they'll be disappointed tonight, but they'll know there's a big part to play going forward.
Yeah, the work has been done, hasn't it, on England camp for the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. Those morale-boosting wins down in Florida, and a lot of hard work has gone in down there in Florida, and also for the past week or so, less than that actually, in Kansas City. For this last hour, since we've talked about the two teams coming out, Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian coach, a few months ago said he hated playing 3 at the back. Without getting too technical, for the last hour, would you as coaches sort of impress upon the players, slightly tweak different things as to how the opposition is set up? Or do you think Tuchel and Anthony Barry, his trusted right-hand man, will be so confident in how they're setting up England that they don't have to really have any sort of late tweaks?
I think there are always little tweaks in a game, and they'll be expected and planned for. I think just switching to the back 3 might change a little bit his emphasis of how he presses from the front. I think in possession, it might just slightly alter people's positional pieces, but the formula of what they are, how they're going to play in possession won't change greatly. So I think it's a little bit more of the outer possession that would be the slight tweak at this point.
We're just seeing a super slow-mo of Ivan Perisic, who was one of the goal scorers in that semi-final 8 years ago against England. A lot of water under the bridge since then. Paul, thank you so much for your insight into the England dressing room. Enjoy the match. Just very quickly, give me a knockout round that surely you think England can get to.
Well, I'd love to see them get to the semis, and from that point, it will fall as it will. But I think definitely minimum semis.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, many thanks indeed. Impossible to actually try and work out the route to the semi-finals with this expanded World Cup with 48 teams and then going to a round of 32 as well. This is Group L. We've never had a Group L before. That's why England have had to wait so long, as Alex Howell has been waiting in Kansas City. He's been inside the England camp. He was with them. Evening to you, afternoon to you, Alex. Good to chat. I hope you're bearing up all right. I've had that gig before in the past. It's a thankless task because you wave them goodbye and you'll be watching them on telly like the rest of us, but then you'll probably have to stay up late and count them all back and see if they're all happy and not limping, and hopefully they'll all be cheering and with a win under their belt. How have you found this England camp compared to when we were together in Qatar 4 years ago, and also the Euros, of course?
Well, the build-up to this one has felt a lot longer because of that prep camp they had in Miami, spending around 14 days. They were there getting acclimatized to the weather before they came to Kansas City on Saturday. And even since they've been here, although it's only a few days, it's felt like it's been a while for them building up to this game. And spoke to Jordan Henderson, the first player that spoke to the media when they arrived in Kansas City, and he said the squad and himself feel like they've been speaking for a long time because the build up to the game and being in Group L, they're just ready to play the game now.
I'm not sure if, like me, Alex, so it just feels in the last 24 hours or so, the tournament has kind of set fire. It's kind of really lit up because we've seen Kylian Mbappe score a couple. We've seen Erling Haaland score a couple for Norway. Lionel Messi do Lionel Messi things, scoring a hat-trick, going right to the top level with Miroslav Klose at the top of those goal-scoring charts. It feels like all the greats of the game have suddenly joined the party, and Harry Kane, the most prolific striker in European football this season, he must be itching to go and get involved as well and get his name on the score sheet at this World Cup.
Exactly that. The players have been saying how they've been sitting in the communal areas at the training camp watching the games, or even when they're getting their massages after training or before training. And it's funny you say Harry Kane there. We know how competitive he is, how much of an elite level goal scorer he is. And he even referenced seeing Haaland and Mbappe score their first couple of goals. Of course, he's won a golden boot himself. And the season he's had for Bayern Munich, he said he's coming into this one, this World Cup, with great momentum, in good fitness, which he wasn't at the Euros. He got taken off in that final as England lost it. So he will be wanting to make an impact and, of course, be aiming to be amongst those great players trying to win this year's Golden Boot.
I mean, you have been with England every step of the way, doing the hard yards, Alex, through World Cup qualification. Thomas Tuchel has been in charge for, well, his first day at the job was the 1st of January last year, wasn't it? For the first time in European qualification, absolute perfection, 8 matches, 8 wins, and no goals conceded. That is something incredible in itself. England usually fly through qualification, but that was pretty special. But then there were, it's worth reminding people, a few bumps in the road as well when people questioned what Tuchel was up to. You think about a friendly defeat this time last year to Senegal, defeat to Japan as well. There was that pretty dreadful draw against Uruguay. And people sort of questioned whether Tuchel had sort of, his thinking wasn't being followed, and he'd sort of, not perhaps lost the dressing room, but things weren't quite going to plan.
That's right, there had been those questions, but what Tuchel has tried to do since he's come in, he keeps repeating this phrase, I'm trying to give the players clarity. And he's put so much importance in that qualifying campaign, in the international camps of September, October, November, when England, as you say, was so impressive. And then if you look at the starting lineup today for the match against Croatia in the World Cup, he's lent on those players that got him those results. He keeps saying John Stones has got credit in the bank, and players like this who have performed well for him got him qualified, and that leads into the club feel that he's trying to build. And the reason he's trying to do that is because he's never managed a national team before. So leaning on all of his club experience and trying to bring that to what his aims and goals are with England.
Alex Howell, our reporter there inside the England base camp in Kansas City. Many thanks for your time. These are live pictures you can see from inside the Dallas Stadium now. We are 13 minutes away from kickoff. Let's hand you back to Priya in London.
Yes, Ollie, thank you very much. 13 minutes and 27 seconds. And we will be here with you until 9 o'clock. And this group of people live in a fan zone in London are very much ready. You can see them all enjoying themselves, filming each other. It looks like one big party happening there in the capital. We know lots of you are watching it around the country, and we have some of you with us live on our programme because we've got our fan wall, basically our little living room, and these guys have been keeping me company and I think keeping each other company as well. You've been looking, energy levels have been high for the last hour or so, so I'm very impressed. Oliver, can I speak to you now? We've spoken about Harry Kane quite a lot. He is, of course, captain, so why shouldn't we? But you are somebody who's played and coached at his old club. We spoke to his former coach not too long ago. What does he mean to you?
Yeah, Harry Kane, you know, he's a great role model, what he's done for England, you know. He inspires young children, you know, to possibly do what he's done in his career and, you know, play on the biggest stage, some of the biggest leagues, and score in front of their country.
And what do you think he will do for England in this tournament? What are your expectations?
I think, you know, he's England's top goal scorer. You know, everyone expects him to go out, score some goals, and you know, take us all the way, take us to that final, and make some history.
Now, to all of you, I said earlier I'm going to test some of your trivia, and I've been having a little scroll around, seeing what I can do to really test you. And maybe as well, if you're watching at home, this is something quite good to try and just distract yourself from the nerves for a little while. I've got a question, okay? On your whiteboards or on your pieces of paper, I'm not going to give you long, I'm going to give you about 5 seconds or so. The question is, okay, I want to know, what was the scoreline the last time England played Croatia in a major tournament? The scoreline last time England played Croatia in a major tournament. I'm seeing from Billy and Amelia there, I'm seeing 2-1. Who to? 2-1 to Croatia. Let's see what else we've got from everyone else. Get your boards up. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. And what do we think the scoreline will be tonight? If you run it out, come on England, from Andrew and Reese there. What do we think the scoreline is tonight? These are your predictions for tonight's game. 3, 2, 1, let's see them. Everyone except for Chloe, I think, has gone for an England win. Chloe, you've been nervous for the last 90 minutes. I wouldn't like to be you. No optimism at all?
There is a sense of optimism to it, but I'm also trying to keep, like, my expectations to a level. So at least, like, say if we did end up with a defeat tonight, I wouldn't be too disappointed. So trying to, you know, keep my expectations low, and if we can get a win, I will be happy. But yeah,
under deliver, over
nervous.
promise. That's what you want from England. Okay, right. So thanks to all of you. Good for getting involved as well. And some more of you also are getting very excited, as you can see here. Pints full, others not so full. And Annabelle Rackham, our reporter, is with these guys in London.
Hi Priya, yeah, so we're back in the fan zone. Everyone's getting their final drinks in before the game starts, because we've literally got a couple of minutes. I'm here with these guys, and I have to say, we've been chatting a lot about what we're expecting from England in this tournament. I want a hot take, right? Josh, we'll start with you.
My hot take is, by the end of the tournament, Morgan Rogers will have that number 10 spot secured.
That is a big take.
I like that one.
It depends what Jude Bellingham does tonight, because he is in the starting lineup.
Yeah, well, you know, he's a classic big moments player, but apart from those big moments, he just tends to go missing quite a bit. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, you're looking very serious there.
Yeah, I know. It's a nerves, you know. We're approaching kickoff now, but my hot take is, and genuinely hurts me as an Arsenal fan to say this, but Madueke is in the England team, and Bowen is not selected only because he's a Premier League winger and Bowen has been relegated.
Gotta feel sorry for Bowen missing out on the tournament, though.
I do, but I trust Tuchel a lot, so let's see.
G.
We're looking for a hot take. This is the Arsenal fan in me. Declan Rice to win the tournament and win the Ballon d'Or.
So you've got to give me something good here, Ollie.
I think we've got the best midfield in the entire World Cup. Portugal do have a good one, but Anderson, what a player. I think this is going to be his moment where everyone really sees the player he is. And I think this is the moment Declan Rice says he is the best player in the world. Because the big moments, big players come alive, and he's going to be the man for us.
I might agree with some of them, but, you know, England and Croatia, not always the best matchup for England. Score predictions will start.
I think 2-0, Nonny's going to open the scoring, and then I think Kane's going to do what he does best and get on the score sheet. 1-0 to England. It's never easy.
Yeah, classic England starts the tournament 1-0 in the 80th minute.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a 2-1. We're going to score in the last minute.
Build up to the tournament for England fans, because we're like nearly a week in and we're only just having our first game. So have you been able to get involved in the football?
Yeah, you know, it's difficult with it being, you know, the other side of the world. The games were on in the middle of the night. You know, you wake up, you check the scores on your phone, you watch the highlights, but you can't really get involved, get invested in the games at the minute, I feel. But yeah, look, England are finally on. Let's get excited. Let's get going.
Well, we're just about to kick off here. Finally, we get to watch England in the World Cup. And yeah, the crowd seem to be loving it so far, so hopefully we can get a good result. Priya, back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Annabelle, thank you very much. And look, I think I'm the only one missing out right now. Look at all these guys in Box Park in London. The excitement has well and truly hit. They've got all the anthems playing. I have definitely seen quite a few drinks being thrown across the crowd as well. And Dan Johnson in Bristol You've found yourself a table of ladies and some empty-looking cups. So have you missed the fun, or is it just getting going?
I can barely hear you because it's so loud here. The atmosphere is really built in the last few minutes. You can tell everybody's excited. They're just putting the finishing touches here, the last few bits. Oh, it's the national anthem. Couldn't be more patriotic than having your St. George's flag painted on your face during the national anthem.
The national anthem there, followed by a big applause in Bristol there with you, Dan. If you can still hear me, I mean, it's the first game of an England's World Cup. Does it feel like it? It looks like it.
Let me speak to Alice and Kelly, who are just there having their makeup finished. How excited are you, ladies? Are you confident? Do you think England can win?
Oh yeah, I reckon they got it in the bag, they're sorted.
For the whole World Cup, or just tonight's match, or how are you feeling?
Oh well, I don't know about that. I've heard that they haven't got all their key players actually. So.
Bit nervous, how about you, Kelly?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a 2-0 win tonight.
You reckon?
Yeah.
And then what?
I think we're going probably to the quarterfinals. Oh,
have you been into the World Cup in general, or is it just England you're into?
Yeah, into the World Cup in general, although a bit difficult with the matches being so late at night, but yeah.
You enjoying the atmosphere here?
Oh, it's so great. There's so many people out tonight. It's good fun.
Not long now.
Yeah. Not long now. What do you think's going to win?
Who do I think's going to win? Oh, England, of course, of course.
What do you think?
Oh, they'll go all the way. They're bringing it home. Thank you for speaking to us. Going to bring in these other ladies who are here. Ladies, how are you feeling tonight? You excited?
Yeah, excited, yeah.
Are you confident? You think England can do it?
Yeah. So good. I'm not wearing this top for no reason.
You're very well kitted out. Have you been enjoying the World Cup so far?
Yeah.
Are you going to watch every game?
The timing's all off.
What brought you here tonight?
England! I'm only watching England games.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you seen the team? Are you pleased with the lineup?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confident all the way?
Yeah.
It's coming home?
It's coming home!
Thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you.
Dan, well done. You managed that even when it gets flipped back on you. Thank you very much. Well, Mark Chapman has got all the details of how you can be watching and listening.
To follow England-Croatia this evening, there's live commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Kick-off in Dallas is at 9 o'clock, and then straight after the final whistle, head to iPlayer. I'll be here with Wayne Rooney, Joe Hart and Micah Richards for a full debrief. Come and join us.
You can watch the game on ITV tonight when it gets going in just over 2 minutes from now. Croatian fans here on your screens also sharing the same energy as all those England fans that we've been seeing and hearing from as well. There is, of course, a slight history between these two sides, and they are both opening their World Cup campaign, on paper at least, against the toughest opposition in Group L. They have waited some time since the World Cup began to get their own campaigns going, with there being so many teams taking part this year. But we are now approaching 2 minutes until their first game of the World Cup gets going. It'll be England versus Croatia, and I have had an absolute joyous time getting you ready for the match, and so too I hope has Ollie, our sports presenter in Salford, keeping you all up to date with all the team news, and of course our fans on our fan wall who have been full of energy. And Chris and Ralph look like they've tried to get out of here early, and I don't blame them at all. But Billy there, getting the party going. Andrew and Reese have been so energetic in their perfectly decorated living room. Thank you so much, Chloe. I hope you can enjoy it as well, even though you've been very nervous. Now listen, 5 Live and BBC Sounds is the place that you can also enjoy all of the coverage. Thank you for sharing the build-up with us. Enjoy the game if you can.